Bing, 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 bong, bong. We'll start on the Rams side of the ball. We're talking Matthew Stafford. This is all start sits. Who we think is going to do well on Thursday night. So obviously we got Matt Stafford to start us out. We'll start with the quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and then defense. Matt Stafford. You starting Matt Stafford in week 5 on the Thursday night game?
Does the Bears shit in the woods?
Bears do, I think, poop in the woods.
Actually, side note, getting derailed already, but I said that to somebody. I said, does a bear shit in the woods? And they were like, no, they shit in the forest. And in my head, I was thinking, like, isn't the forest the woods?
I mean, technically it is, right?
You know, tomato.
That person's a dickhead.
Yeah, I mean, no, actually, I don't know. Pennsylvania, Sylvania means woods. William Penn's Woods, that's what Pennsylvania is named after. And the woods in Pennsylvania are a lot different than the forest, so I kind of get what he's saying. Anyways,
drop a comment on that one. But yeah,
let us know what you think about that to start a show.
Sidebar, but yeah,
or
Matthew Stafford.
Sidebar?
I mean, yeah, you're dialing up Matt Stafford here. I can't imagine a scenario where you wouldn't. I mean, for what it's worth, the Seahawks giving up the 4th most passing yards in the league so far, and Stafford has just looked money. I mean, you know, they go out and they trade for him, and you know, obviously that was the right move for the Los Angeles Rams to go out and get him and upgrade over a guy like Jared Goff. And, yeah, he's been balling.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, the Seahawks just gave up 2 passing touchdowns to Trey Lance. So, I mean, Stafford's at least good for 2. At least.
Yeah, and I think after the Rams just lost to the Cardinals that way, I'm pretty sure Matt Stafford's all types of fired up.
Yep.
He's ready to freaking...
Speaking of woods, he's ready to sling that thing over to Bobby Trees. Which we'll talk about later, since we talk about trees and forests and woods. Figure that's a good sign.
Let's go on to the running back here. We got Darrell Henderson Jr. He comes back from the injury, and he definitely looked like he's still the guy.
Yep.
You know, Sony Michel, I don't think is, you know, really as fantasy relevant as some people might have hoped, but I think you can dial up Darrell Henderson in this one. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. Apparently the Seahawks just give it up, period, since they give it, would you say, the 4th most passing touchdowns?
Yeah.
Or yards? They've given up 140 yards on the ground in 3 straight games, giving up 4.6 yards a carry. Darrell Henderson just had his best game of the year rushing-wise. I mean, 14 for 90. I mean, and he can catch out of the backfield. So really, he's like 3 down. He's a 3-down guy right now. So even if he doesn't get you the touchdown, he'll get you the yards and catches. He should be straight.
Yeah, it was. If you have Darrell Henderson, it was reassuring to see that, you know, he misses the game with the rib injury. Obviously, you know, still dealing with that. You know, the week 3 he was out. He had Sony Michel, who pretty much was the lead dog there for them, for the Rams. So, yeah, it was nice to see that when he came back the following week, 90% of the snaps for Darrell Henderson compared to just 10% for the fantasy consigliere, Sony Michel.
The bum of bums.
But, yeah, I love Darrell Henderson right here. I mean,
dial it up.
Yeah, dial it up. He's been a guy I've been trying to low-key trade for. It's been hard because he has been doing really well. I mean, I think he's a guy where he's just a safe floor. I think he's had like 14, 15 points every single game. You know, when they get in close, they're going to give him the ball. This is one of the most, you know, high-powered offenses. You know, going to be scoring a lot of scoring opportunities are going to be there. So a lot of goal line carries available for a guy like Darrell Henderson. And like Dre said, a capable pass catcher as he just catches a ball as when he was lined up in the slot. If you're looking at the YouTube channel here, I love Darrell Henderson. One thing I can say though is if you have Darrell Henderson in your flex. What's that strategy, Mike? How does it go?
Yeah, you just throw him in your actual running back position, so that way you can pivot later on in the week and throw a wide receiver or a running back in. Yeah. You know, you have the options on your bench. It's definitely, try not to. I mean, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you're in a situation where you're like, I have to throw him in my flex, you know. But because your guys are, you know, too set it and forget it on the running back side. But, yeah, definitely if you could get away from putting a player in your flex for the Thursday night game, definitely get him out of there.
Yeah.
Put him into your actual running back spot. Let's go on to the wide receivers. I think these ones, you know, are a little easy. It's like Cooper Kupp, start him.
Sit him.
Cooper Kupp start for sure. Start, you know. Yeah, sit him.
He's gonna get you 3 for 35. Sit him.
You heard it here first. Yeah, I mean, the Seahawks defense. The Seahawks defense giving it up like Blair.
Dude, they do it for fun.
Haven't said that one in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, is there anything else you guys want to say around Cooper Kupp? Like, want to trade him, get rid of him, you know what I mean? Or
definitely not trading him. I mean, for what there's some numbers on him. You're starting Cooper Kupp, but I mean, 10 or more targets in each game. He leads the NFL in targets right now.
As he should.
So yeah, that he's a set it and forget it. I mean, we've seen like the bromance.
My God,
just emerge between him and Matthew Stafford. So yeah, he's a set it and forget it. But we knew this. You know, we were telling you guys this in the draft season. Hey, go get Cooper Kupp. Go get Cooper Kupp. And a lot of the rankings, for whatever reason, had Woods ranked higher than Kupp. And we were kind of telling you guys, like, no, it should be flip flopped. You know, we still like Bobby Trees. We'll touch on him in a second. No homo. But
yeah.
But yeah, we were saying get Kupp over Woods if you had the choice between the two. And if he did, hopefully you listen and you're welcome.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's go on to our boy Robert Woods, also known as Bobby Trees.
Bobby Trees.
Robert Woods. So he's definitely not putting up what you drafted him as, but I will say that he has been what's it called? Like in PPR leagues, he's not been as bad as I had originally thought when I looked back at some of the stats. But that goes into saying, like, what are you going to start him against the Seahawks? I feel like if you don't start him now, then when I mean, this is a great opportunity matchup wise.
Yeah. I mean, he's getting the like you're saying, he's not going to win you the week, but he's not going to be the reason you lose. It's just you just expect more out of him based on where you drafted him. That's probably what it is. I mean, I think we're all Bobby Tree fans and Bobby Tree fans, or Forests or Woods. Yeah, the other one. But
Bobby Forrest.
I mean, he has 25 targets. I mean, like a little bit over 6 targets a game. He has 1 touchdown, but he just hasn't had that game yet. And I know that report came out where they're going to try and get him more opportunities. I mean, he's over here like, where's my 10 targets a game? Like, shit. Because I know I made the joke that Stafford and Cooper Kupp go ice fishing together, but I guess they really were roommates during training camp. Like, legit.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
That could for sure be why.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to start Robert Woods this week.
Now, after this week, if he doesn't do something, then if you don't have him and he doesn't do good this week, I'm for sure going to try and get him in whatever league I can. But I just feel like this is the week where he'll finally get you that 80 and a tug at least. 8 for 90 and a touchdown. Just something to be like, all right, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, if he doesn't come out this game and put up some numbers, then it is a little alarming. But, I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, my guy's on the field. I mean, Cooper Kupp's played the most snaps, 226. Bobby Trees is only 6 snaps behind, playing 220 snaps. So he's on the field a fuck ton of snaps. His just ceiling is just not there like it was before. Cooper Kupp could have these games where he gets you 150 yards, 10
touchdowns.
Yeah, 10 catches, whatever.
No, you're right.
Just one of these massive 30 burger type of games. It doesn't seem like that type of ceiling is there for Robert Woods anymore. I mean, in a couple of games, he's had 11, 9, and 13. A positive thing, he has a touchdown in 50% of the games. I know it's only been 4 games, but 2 of the 4 games, he's had a touchdown. So he's kind of, both those touchdowns came
like short
within the red zone, I believe. So, yeah, when they're getting close, they're utilizing him and his ability to get open in the red zone. So, yeah, I mean, it's tough at this point. He's kind of fallen out of that wide receiver 2 range for me, and now he's more of a flex guy. It just depends on who you have because the wide receiver position is so deep. I mean, you can get – I mean, there's just so many receivers. Like, Dre, you were showing me your lineup in one of the leagues, and you're just like, dude, like I have so many receivers, I don't even know what to do. Like, there was a good receiver on the waiver wire, and you're just like, but I'm never going to play him because I have 6 guys I could start in a given week. So it just depends on who you have on your team, depending on if you're going to play Robert Woods or not. But, I mean, if you're strapped and you're just like, hey, I have to throw him in there, like I still would feel confident enough to throw him in there because we've seen what he's capable of doing in the past in this offense.
Yeah, especially in this matchup, I think this is ideal. There's I don't know.
Yeah, and it's a high total, which we'll get to later also from a sports
54.5 over under. I like that. That's a good one to look at for fantasy also. Let's go into Van Jefferson. This is just because the Seahawks defense is not the greatest, giving it up a lot.
A lot.
So, like, would you take a swing on Van Jefferson in a spot? Maybe if you're in like a double flex 3 wide receiver league.
Yeah, or if my receivers are like, I don't know, dude.
I'm just
like
kidding.
Julio Jones and someone else that's hurt, then maybe. But I mean, he looks all right. He's better than I thought he was going to be in the NFL. To be honest, I didn't really like him coming in, but the Rams seem to like him. I wanted to see more Tutu Atwell, to be honest, but I wouldn't start Van Jefferson.
Yeah, no, you're starting KUPP. Woods is on the on the cusp, and then all these other receivers it's gonna be a no for me, dog.
They're a jag. They're Jags.
All right, let's move on to the tight end. To the tight end position, we got Tyler Higbee. We doing these tight end streams, waiver wire kind of ads, videos, and we had some people asking, Tyler Higbee, Mike Gesicki. We were talking about Mike Gesicki having a better week, and he ended up doing better than Tyler Higbee. I think we all are not big fans of Tyler Higbee. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yep. I mean, I'm sure he's a great guy, but I don't want him as my tight end. Yeah, no.
There's just too many starting him this week.
Nah, I would rather.
What's your predictions for Tyler Higbee against Seattle?
4 catches, 50 yards.
Yeah, it's like one of those ugly tight end spots. Yeah.
Yeah, like I'd rather. Yeah, I mean, the tight end position's already. I think the last waiver wire gem was probably like Dawson Knox, who's been just getting touchdowns lately. But I'd look elsewhere, to be honest.
Yeah, so you know me, I'm not a big Higbee guy, and he was a bust candidate for me last year. And I know they got the upgrade at quarterback with Stafford, but I still was not. It was hard because it was like, okay, Stafford's good, and we saw what Hawkinson did last year with Stafford. So maybe Higbee can be there, but I still it was hard to try to justify it. But guess how many games? So ever since that he finished that season in 2019 where he was just hot like Hansel. He had 100 yards in 4 of the last 5 games. So if you picked him up, he might have helped you in your league. And sometimes you get a player like that and like you hold on to like that, man, this guy was balling, he helped me win my league. So you keep thinking about the good times, but it hasn't been good times there. So it's been 19 games since he's had that crazy run. Where he had the 100-yard games? How many games out of those 19 do you think he's had over 100 yards since then?
Zero.
And he had 10 or more targets in all of those games, pretty much. How many games out of the 19 do you think he's had 10 or more targets since then?
Zero.
So, yeah, that was just a thing.
Outlier.
And I think we touched on it. I think it was because Gurley was banged up that year, and, the offense was just kind of all over the place. I think that might have been the year where Cooks was kind of banged up too. I could be wrong on that one. But so I just think that offense was just running a different style of offense to where they were utilizing the tight end a little bit more than normal. And now with KUPP and Woods, and like you said, you got Tutu Atwell, Deshaun, Van Jefferson, these guys, it's like you don't really need Higbee as much as, they did a couple years ago. So, yeah, I don't like Higbee. And, I mean, if you have Higbee, here are some of the tight ends that maybe you could pivot to potentially to throw into your lineup. I mean, for what it's worth, Gesicki's available in 25% on ESPN. Dawson Knox, who's just knocking people out when he gets the football. He's 50% available. I do like that matchup. The Chiefs are pretty bad against defending the tight end, and that should be a high scoring game right there. And then Dalton Schultz.
I was literally about to say that.
Another guy who's 50% available. I know it's, he's got Jarwin there too, but I mean the guy's been performing, and
yep.
I mean the Cowboys offense looks like it's going to be scoring like 30 points every single week with how good it looks with Dak. So yeah, I would rather have those guys over Tyler Higbee. I don't know how you guys feel on it.
No, I'm totally with you. Yeah, I don't know why I love to hate on Tyler Higbee, but I do. Yeah. You know what? To your point is like, yeah, Matt Stafford is an upgrade for the Rams, but I noticed like teams that have shittier quarterbacks end up relying on the tight end position.
Yeah, it's a good safety blanket, and I think with Higbee it was it could have been more of like teams just planning or game planning for Cooper, KUPP, and Woods, so he was just open, so they were just taking what the defense was giving him, and and since then he just really hasn't done much. Like you said, 19 straight games of nothingness. Well, I don't want to say nothingness, but you know what I mean.
But yeah, just like that ceiling that people are constantly – I feel like they're chasing what he was in 2019 still. And
yeah,
it's
totally.
Just like, dude, like the guy had like a crazy good run for 4 or 5 games, and like that was it. Like it's – let it go.
Time to move on.
Let it go. Let it go.
I got an easy $50 bet. I don't know what Jules was thinking, but at our draft, he bet me $50 that Higbee would have a better fantasy season than Noah Fant. I was like,
and that's what we call in the biz easy money.
Easy money. I was like, dude, Noah Fant's good. He's like, Tyler Higbee's good. I'm like, Doug, what? Noah Fant's way better. And he's like, all right, let's bet. I was like, that's easy money here.
Yeah.
Should just give me the money right now.
Just give me the
Just
money
hand me
right
fucking
now.
$50 right now. There's no unless Noah Fant breaks his fucking leg.
Yeah.
Listen, you're the tight end whisperer. Remember we made the bet on Darren Waller receptions?
He had 100
Just
targets in the first game.
destroyed.
And then this year you got 19 targets literally in one game.
But okay, let's move on to the Rams defense. Are you playing the Rams defense? It's a high over under 54.5. Does that scare you a little bit? I think this could be a shootout game, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, I would try to stream a defense. I know that sounds crazy, but they got gassed by the run last week too.
Yeah, I think streaming a defense would be ideal.
Like keep them on your bench. I mean, in one league I have 3 defenses.
Yeah, I've been doing that as of late. Is like just kind of moving around defenses. It's ideal.
Yeah, because even the best defenses, I started Panthers
they'll
D.
have bad games.
Yeah, I started Panthers D in a league and they got me -6.
Yeah.
Must not listen last week.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I actually did also forget. I was like, my team's good.
No, it's one of those things you could definitely overlook. But yeah, if you have the Rams defense, maybe you pivot to the Patriots defense if they're available.
For sure.
Oh yeah, I love that one. That was on the defensive streamer episode we did. But yeah, if the Patriots are there, I'd go get them. I would go get the Bears potentially if they're there. Someone even threw out in the comments the Raiders, which I'm not mad at it honestly, because the Raiders do have a lot of playmakers. On the defensive side of the football, the Raiders will be at home this week against the Bears. So you got the Bears traveling cross country, Raiders at home. And for what it's worth, going to that game, just the energy in that building was just wild. I mean, like the Raider fans were out. I think it's Vegas. People who don't even like the Raiders are just here in Vegas, want to see a football game. So the energy was crazy there. You got a rookie quarterback on the road in Justin Fields. Shaky offensive line as it already is. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad at maybe even possibly the Raiders as a streaming option as well. I would be getting away from the Rams in this scenario. But like Mike was saying, this is why I personally like to have 2 defenses, because it's like I don't want to drop the Rams because they are a good defense. And there's going to be some matchups where they're at home against a really bad team and you're going to be dialing up the Rams defense. So I personally like to have 2 defenses. That way I can play the matchups week to week. Like in one of my leagues, or pretty much in a good chunk of my leagues, I have the Broncos and the Bears. And I've kind of just been alternating between those 2 defenses week to week. So yeah, I'll probably be fading the Rams defense in this one to see if there are some better options, because I can't see, Russell Wilson at home. You probably don't want to start a defense against Russell Wilson when he's at home. I would just say that, especially in a primetime Thursday night football game.
Yeah, and a division. I mean, it could go one of either 2 ways, but
division game, they're gonna clap back
for sure. Here's one: do you dare start the Titans D against Trevor Lawrence, who leads the NFL in interceptions, and he's 33rd in completion percentage?
I would
not playing very good.
I would not. Titans defense.
I'm not saying I would. I'm just throwing another defense.
No, yeah. I mean, we just saw it with the Bengals defense, because we had a lot of people asking, should we play the Bengals defense last week against the Jaguars? And then I think we told a lot of people don't. And then what's it called? They ended up with 1 point, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sketchy. Hey, did you like that video? No, not the one of Big Ben completely eating shit when nobody even touched him. I'm talking about our fantasy football video we just did. You just watched. Well, guess what? That was just a clip from the full audio podcast. So if you want to check out the whole thing, links down below. AVG Fantasy Football Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, all of them. Anywhere you can get audio podcasts, we're there. Go ahead and check it out. And if you don't want to look at your fantasy team to look the way Big Ben does right here, wait for it. Come on, replay. This is your fantasy team. But that won't be your fantasy team if you subscribe to AVG Fantasy Football. So go ahead, subscribe and like this video. Subscribe to the channel and